So first off, I just watched this last night, and I'm kind of blown away by how we are kind of getting to know these characters. We're not really sure whether they're black and white. Which is kind of unusual for TV.
It's a character-driven piece.
Yeah.
So he's not going to sort of give you everything straight out of the gate. Taylor Sheridan, who wrote it. So these characters really get to develop, and he doesn't explain them all.
I love it.
At the beginning, they just are who they are, and as we progress, we get to sort of find out.
Well, your
who
character's
they are.
the toughest one so far.
Yeah, she's pretty tough.
How about you? I mean, I don't think I've seen you play a character quite like this. He's very a little bit of a dark horse in this family, I feel like.
Yeah. Jamie's an interesting character to play. There's a lot of, like Kelly said, Taylor writes with a lot of room. So there's a lot there in the pilot. There's a lot happening for the characters, but you kind of, like with people, there's a lot of potential for problems and joys and all of that. So it's a real joy to play.
Obviously, working with Taylor, who's done some of the most amazing recent work, to have not only have him as a director, but have him with a script. What about you? What was your when you read the script?
I think with Taylor, what you're getting is a voice, like a real authentic voice, and that's very exciting to be a part of. And he's just not writing a script to write a script. He's got something to say, and the way he's slow, the characters are a slow burn. It's brilliant. It's to be a part of this and play a cowboy and go to cowboy camp. I mean, it rocked.
Cowboy camp?
Oh yeah, come
I
on.
want to
It
go
was
to cowboy
awesome.
camp. What was that like?
Amazing. Unfortunately, Wes was there, but other than that, we had a really great time. No,
I really blew it. I did.
Already blew it. Yeah, we got to go 3-4 days out in the mountains and on horseback, and Taylor really promotes authenticity and sort of I couldn't be further from a cowboy, so getting out there and learning how to ride on a horse, and it was just really just a great life experience.
What does it? I feel like his stuff is. You've said this. It's very deep. It's not just. There's something about it. It always has something more to say about society and what we're going through. Does that come up when you're going with this, when you're shooting this? Do you guys talk about, what's going on in the world today? Feels very similar.
Right. For me, this is a slice of America that it's a very sort of alive. Like, these people are actually living and working on ranches in America right now, and it's there's something about that lost part of America that I'm sort of really interested in. Being British, I didn't really know too much about it, so being in Montana and sort of experiencing that real roots of America is sort of fascinating. Obviously what's going on in the country right now. Yeah. Lots of room for conversation about that. With Native American lands and reservations and all of that that's being. That was all happening just before we started shooting. It's sort of an interesting, passionate story.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Taylor's one of the most informed, intelligent creators, directors that I've ever worked with. You can have conversations with him about any social event or history or land ownership. I mean, he knows just about everything. Everything he writes about, he's well informed on, and the conversations on set are very interesting because he carries that with him all the time, and it's a tool to use as the characters. You can go to him as the actor and discover things from an intelligent point of view about your character.
He's very specific in what he writes. It's not wasted.
Oh yeah. There's not one wasted word.
No, which is really is a great as a viewer.
It's like doing a play.
Yeah. And it must be, and shooting in Montana, it's like, it must feel so surreal.
It's stunning. Like Kelly said, even as an American, it's really fascinating to learn about the West and to see how the West hasn't really changed, at least in its sort of culture and moral views and all of that. It's still basically the same fights we've been having for centuries, or they've been having for a century. They're still having today.
You're a cowboy today.
You don't act like the man from the stories I've heard.
That's the thing about being a grandfather. I get to do all the things I wish I'd done with my children. Woo! And the things I regret, I get to do different.
You were right. They're building a city.
Everyone's forgotten who runs this valley. I need you more than ever. You have me.
What are you doing here?
Same thing I always do. Fixing something you couldn't.
Stagnation is death for a town, and the Duttons are the ones killing it.
The new chief is hungry for a fight.
I'm gonna buy your ranch, and I'm gonna pull down every fence. It'll look like it used to, when it was ours.
Just tell me who to fight.
Everyone.
A man must stand with his people.
This ain't checkers, son. This is chess, and you're about to play it with masters.
All I do every day is fight for this family.
If you were winning, I wouldn't be here.
I don't regret one sin I've committed. It's the one I'm about to commit that worries me.
Mess with my family. I will chop your family tree down.
Progress. Can't stop it, John. Watch me.
Yellowstone, a new series Wednesday, June 20th at 9 on Paramount Network.